Nick! Wait. Saint Nick. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. We're back, baby. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm the second best Saint Nick around. And you know what? I noticed that you have your ugly sweater. I don't know if you did that on purpose.
I did.
Felt bad. I don't have any ugly clothing. I put this Grinch necklace on, but I'll tell you what, just to stay in the mood here, I do have an ugly hat.
Oh, wow. Okay. Can I join you then?
There we go. Now we're talking. So I may not have the sweater, but my wife came through and found me an ugly hat, and this is pretty sauce here. I hope nobody's walking around thinking this is an attractive hat, and they're all.
We all know your wife's the MVP of the family, anyway.
Yeah, there's no argument from here for sure. But I'm ready to go.
Watching the podcast, I'll get points from the wife for saying that, right?
Absolutely correct. You're right.
Perfect. I just want to let you guys know that this is not only an ugly sweater, but I took it next level. Look where it is. A Buc-ee's ugly sweater. So we're going full throttle here today. And if you don't like Buc-ee's, I don't want to do a podcast with you anymore.
No, you know what? I like Buc-ee's. I forget if I went on this rant in the podcast or not, or on the podcast, but I'm tired of people telling me they got to go to Buc-ee's for the food. I'm not sure if I did that here or not, but it's just like enough. It's like Wawa. Oh, you're going to try Wawa, the best food. Shut up. It's a gas station. Yeah, Buc-ee's is awesome, but let's relax.
Yeah. You know what I've learned about you is you're a very independent thinker. You don't like when people say, I want you to play pickleball. I want you to do this. Let me do it. I'll figure it out, right?
Exactly right. If you want a surefire way for me never to go to a restaurant, tell me to go to that restaurant, and I'll never go.
All right. Well, we're going to get to the menu in just a second, but I want to throw my Nick curveball to begin the podcast. I had some thoughts. You know, holidays. Let's look at this. They get stressful. You know,
oh God.
They get stressful a little bit sometimes. But you know what? I'm wondering how you are as a gifter, because this to me, you know, we had the telegraph, we had the iPhone, some great inventions in our history. I am the worst rapper in history, not like rapper, but gift wrapper. I love the old bags.
Yeah.
With little paper on top. Yeah. That's my go-to. Are you like a good rapper, or do you go with the like the box, the little bags here?
I'm kind of in between. I'm a terrible rapper, but despite that, I rap anyway. I think the bags are the easy way out. You know, unless you're going to a party, I think a gift bag is appropriate. If you're giving a loved one a bag of gifts, I think that you gotta look deep inside that relationship. It's just probably not working out.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
subliminal message there from Nick Nugent. I feel like.
I like that.
You know, I will say this. I was never a big online shopper, but more and more, it's a life game changer, my friend. The online stuff, especially with kiddos and everything, and we get crazy with work and everything. It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, man. We know our Amazon delivery guys. They stop by and they go, "What up, Nuge? Good to see you, man." So I mean, yeah, it hits our house pretty quickly, man. It's pretty hard. It's awesome.
All right, off the bat, Nick makes me feel lazy. So let's get to the menu and see what we have coming up in another rendition of Neighbors and Nugent. For starters, we are festive. I was not going to bring out the hat until Nick brought out his hat. I don't know how this is looking, by the way.
Fantastic. Always fantastic for you, Neighbors.
All right. Shout out to Buc-ee's, by the way. If you want to be a sponsor, we're all in. We're ready for it.
Yes, we are ready.
For starters, our best Christmas movies. We're going to give our 3. I don't have a long list, so you may poach my list pretty quickly, and I may be scrambling. We'll see how that goes. Heart of the order, boy, this college football playoff, I have some feelings on it. I know you do too. We're going to break down the college football playoff mess and the future of bowl games now, because you reached out to me about this bowl games pick'em, and I have a little take on that as well. I know you do too. Final 5, we're going to pass out some gifts to our favorite, or maybe not our favorite, but those athletes, those teams, those leagues who need gifts. We're going to turn it around. I actually have a gift for Nick. That's a little tease as well. And then our last word that I'm excited about too. But let's get to for starters. We're in the festive mood, Nick Nugent. And everybody, come on, everybody has their favorite Christmas holiday movie, I'm guessing. I'm going to give you the floor because you are St. Nick.
Now, are we going draft, or are we just going 3 right off the bat? What do you want to do?
I say we just go 3. We go
All
3.
Right.
Yeah, we go 3.
No problem. To start off, I'm going to go Home Alone. Love Home Alone. If Home Alone is on TV, I'm watching it. The last couple of years, we've gotten our kids into it, and they think it's absolutely hilarious. I think it's one of those movies that it doesn't matter if you watch it, in 1998, 2008, or 2023. It's funny. It's good. It stays true to the message. Love Home Alone. Number 2, shout out to my dad. White Christmas. Big fan of White Christmas,
Okay.
old school. My wife is not a fan of White Christmas. She gets annoyed every time it's on, but it's got to be on. If nothing's going on in the house, I have it just playing on repeat. My daughter loves it. My son likes it. My dog likes it. Wife not so much, but I'm a big fan of White Christmas and reaching back a little bit. Shout out to my dad. And then my personal favorite, probably not going to be on your list. I just think it's a hilarious movie. I'm going to go with Fred Claus. I think it's an unbelievably funny movie. I think it's current. I like the side story. I'm a huge fan.
You know what's amazing, Nick, is I thought we were going to go a little back and forth, but you went all in with 3, and those 3 are not on my list. So this is going to work out perfectly.
I love
and I'm
it.
going to defend your wife once again. Don't play White Christmas if she doesn't want to see it. Come on, just give her a break this Christmas. Don't do it.
Okay. You know what? I won't play it this Christmas. I'll watch it when I'm sitting somewhere else. How about that?
Why don't you go off and just wrap yourself some presents and some bags off to the side? Be a little lazy.
Yeah.
All right, my first one, I got to go Elf, man. I love Elf.
Okay.
Elf is one. I'm a big Will Ferrell fan, and to me, people can say it's overplayed, and I'm over it. But like Tom Hanks in Big, it's hard for an adult to play a kid.
Yeah.
And Will Ferrell played a great kid as an adult. I think that's a very hard. And I love the angry elf scene too. That's one of my.
I like that too. Yeah, sure.
One of my favorite scenes ever in Christmas movies. Boy, I didn't know we're going top 3, but I'll go number 2. I love Miracle on 34th Street. I'm showing my age a little bit. You did White Christmas, but there have been some remakes of Miracle on 34th Street. I just remember, growing up, that was a favorite around our house. I think the man who played Santa Claus was very believable. You don't always see that. He seemed like the real deal. So Miracle on 34th Street, and I'm going to kick it old school. I almost went Christmas Story, but that was kind of overplayed. They do the 24 hours where they play it over and over again. I love Ralphie. By the way, I love that Ralphie and Vince Vaughn are like boyhood friends. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I didn't know that. That's amazing.
An unlikely pair. Those two guys. And if you watch the breakup of Vince Vaughn movie, Ralphie is actually in that movie. You don't recognize him because he's a grown man at this point. But It's a Wonderful Life is my number 3 because, frankly, we can kid about Christmas and gifts and everything. And I'm going to get serious because I really feel this way. I feel like this holiday is about gratitude and, giving to others. And I really get excited about the gifts I got my daughters, even though they probably think some of them are lame and I like to have fun with them. But it's gratitude. It's, you ever have a bad dream and you wake up and you're like, wow, I'm glad that was a dream. We've all been there. And It's a Wonderful Life is kind of the holiday rendition of that. So that's my top 3.
It's a solid top 3, man. I like it, man. I have no complaints. That's the thing about Christmas movies. I like them all, even Die Hard. I like them all.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
I'm just bringing it up. It doesn't. The key is it doesn't matter. I like it no matter what it is.
By the way, before we get to Heart of the Order, let me have you. I love when you make fun of me. So I didn't see Die Hard until probably about 5 to 6 years ago, and I'm 55 years old.
I'm not sure. I'm not going to make fun of you for that because they're movies that I haven't seen. I'm just amazed you haven't. How do you not stumble onto it?
Some movies, I don't know. I think maybe somebody played at maybe the end of it at a party or something. I just never sat down and watched the whole thing. I don't know. It just wasn't a priority in my life.
If it's on TV, I'm stopping everything.
Really?
In fact, if my wife said, "Hey, Nick, it's on right now," I'd cancel the podcast and I'd go watch it and then continue the podcast later on. If it's on, I'm watching it. It's a great movie. It's classic. I'm almost word for word with the entire movie. I love it.
Really?
Oh yeah, fantastic.
By the way, I love the hat. The more I see your hat, the more I like it. It's very well done.
I'm going to wear it out today. Why not?
Do it when the Amazon guy comes by. He'll appreciate that.
I will for sure.
All right, let's make the strong segue from Christmas movies. We're going to get more festive and give our presents to our 5 sports entities, whoever they are. But first, we're going to go to the heart of the order. Sometimes we have guests. I saw my friend Tiffany Green, who we had in our most recent podcast, call a game on ESPN when FAMU won the national championship. Props to Tiffany Green. So we've had some great guests. We're going to have more in the new year. I know we're excited about that. But speaking of bowl games, Nick Nugent, you reached out to me recently. We're going to get into this college playoff kerfuffle. Is that the right word? Is that?
I hope you threw an F in there. Otherwise, it's going to be awkward. But either way.
No, I threw an F in there. I don't know if that's the right, but it's a mess. How about that? We'll use a word we both understand.
Yeah.
I love actually that the college football playoff blew up the year before they fixed everything because, frankly, they've been flirting with disaster for many years. College football has been bailed out for many, many years. but you sent me an email that I just had to laugh at, and I appreciate you including me. I do, about a college bowl pick'em, and I know part of that is the 4-team playoff.
Yeah.
But I hate that the college bowls are meaningless now. They're meaningless for a lot of reasons. They're meaningless for the 4-team playoff. They're meaningless because of the transfer portal. And they're meaningless because a lot of these guys, and I don't blame them, if I'm Jaden Daniels, I'm not going to play in the ReliaQuist Bowl. It's not worth it for me. I hate that the college bowls are meaningless now. But you know what? Because I like you, I did the pick 'em anyway.
I appreciate that. I agree with you. I do agree, though, it's absolute nonsense. I mean, the very idea that you could have 2 6-6 teams playing in the 1-800 Toilet Bowl is just absurd. Or the Doritos Bowl, or the Cheetos Bowl, or the Fritos Bowl, or the Cheerios Bowl. It's just, I think there's a Pop-Tarts Bowl. It's just nonsense. So yeah. I completely agree. What do we have? I think we have 43 bowl games this year. Yeah. I think it's nonsense. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's embarrassing. And I would say that more than half of them have less than half the stadium full when they actually play those games. I think it's embarrassing to do. I completely agree. It's nonsense. Completely nonsense.
I know the people that run the ReliaQuist Bowl, formerly the Outback Bowl. They do a great job. They're unbelievable with the media and with the fans, and they plan events all week. So I feel for them. It's not their fault.
Not their fault.
But boy, you know what? Looking at this year, let's start with Florida State. I have a lot of friends in Tallahassee who were hurt by this, and they have a reason to. Should Florida State be in the Final Four, Nate?
It's tough because I had an initial gut reaction to this that was just complete absurdity, because you can only do as well as the games you play. And if you win every game, you should have a spot in my eyes. But then again, if the goal of the committee is to pick the 4 best teams, FSU is not one of the 4 best teams. It's not fair. I think it's ridiculous. I think there should be 12. I can't wait till it eventually is. But I initially felt it was ridiculous. But the problem is that I think, without their quarterback, I think they're going to get blown out by Georgia. I think they're going to get blown out by him. And I hope I'm wrong because I'm an FSU fan. But it's if their job is to pick the 4 best teams, then FSU has got to be out of it. If their job is to pick the teams that deserve it in terms of how they performed, well, then FSU has to be in. So I guess I need the definition of what the committee's there for. I mean, if you win every game and then you beat Louisville, by the way, Louisville is a great team with a great offense, and they shut them down. I mean, they've done everything they've been asked to do, and they've overperformed with people when they go down. So it's a matter of it's the opposite of the perfect storm. It is the unfortunate storm that had to happen this year. I think it's absurd. I feel bad, and I also feel bad for Georgia. How do you go from 1 to none? And that's tough too. And I understand the process, but I just think it's as you said, a kerfuffle. And I'm not really sure the answer. I guess it comes down to how do you define what the job of the committee is. And if you can define that, I can make a better decision. What do you think?
Yeah, I look at it and I was shocked that Florida State didn't make it. I really was, because if you do everything you're supposed to do, you should be rewarded for it. But because the system is flawed, they had to pay the piper. If you're only going to let 4 teams in and they're in that meeting and they're saying, you know what, Florida State, I'm sorry, Florida State fans, and I love you. A lot of great friends up there. You didn't play that great against Florida, and you didn't look great against Louisville from an offensive standpoint. And the eye test counts. If you look at the guidelines, if an injury to a quality player affects the overall product of the team or the end result, you're not going to make it. And that's a guideline. So it's not fair, but I do think I'm more excited about the Final Four now because Florida State's not in it. And you know what? My daughter goes to Alabama. Yeah. And I was at the SEC championship game, and I was sitting in the middle of all these obnoxious Georgia fans who were all over me after the first touchdown. I didn't hear from them the last 2 quarters, by the way.
Shocking. Yeah, what a shock, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm walking out and I'm looking at it, and we're all kind of laughing. I said, you guys should be in the Final Four. This is why college football is all messed up, because you won 29 straight games. You lose 1 game, so now you're out of the playoff? Really?
Yeah. And I tell you what, I've never been a big fan of teams claiming national championships. I was annoyed when UCF did it.
I hated that.
But I'll tell you what, if FSU beats Georgia this year and they beat a great Georgia team, I will be one of the first people to buy an FSU 2024 national championship shirt. And I will put it in the office, because that's the ultimate statement. Absolutely undefeated in the year 2023, and we're not national champions as a Florida State University. I think it's a tough one, but I think you're right. I think it's just they had to pay the piper in a very, very unfortunate situation. Brutal.
Yeah, and you know what? I look at the whole system, and it's so flawed because I don't think Florida State and Georgia is going to be a great game because of everything we talked about. If any player in those games is going to the NFL, they're likely not going to play in this game. Maybe some will, and I give them credit for that. But it just takes away from all this. I love the suggestion, and it would never happen. It would never happen. But have a play-in game. Have Florida State play Alabama, and then the winner goes into the Final Four. But you know what? You're still upsetting Georgia. It's still not working. We've needed a 12-team playoff forever. And I look back at Florida State's history, Nick, when they won a national title in 1993, they lost to Notre Dame. Yeah. And then Notre Dame lost to Boston College. Yeah. So West Virginia was undefeated that year. Florida State leapfrogged West Virginia and played for the national title against Nebraska. I mean, it's not like this thing just started happening this year. No. It's on for decades and decades.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. You're exactly right.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, FSU fans, but you know what? It's going to be so much fun because I can't wait till I get the invite next year from Nick Nugent for the 12-team playoff pick'em. And then we'll be right in the world again, right?
Exactly right. I completely agree. Definitely. What about some bowl games? Who you got winning? Who you got doing well? Who you got going all the way?
The Final Four? Yeah. Final Four. You know what? I think this is a team that nobody talks about. Okay. Everybody talks about Jim Harbaugh in Michigan, which, by the way, I think, Alabama playing Michigan, I think Alabama is going to have their way with Michigan. But I think Washington wins against Texas, and I think Washington beats Alabama. Washington and Michael Penix. I think, Jaden Daniels should have won the Heisman, but Washington and Michael Penix have flown under the radar. Oregon is a great football team. They beat Oregon twice. Nobody thought they'd beat them the second time, so I'm going Washington to win it all.
I love that. Obviously, we spent a lot of time in Seattle, right next to the campus of Washington. I've seen those fans. They're absolutely bananas. For those early morning West Coast games that are really like 11 o'clock in the morning, man, they are up at 7:30 tailgating. They're going crazy. They're huge fans. It's a great stadium, great players. The quarterback's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. To beat Oregon once was amazing. And then I thought there's no way they can beat them twice. Like you said.
I didn't either.
Because Oregon was not only wanting to win, but they're fighting for their lives. They're fighting for a chance to go into the playoffs. And I'm like, if you get Bo Nix, you get Oregon. There's no way you can beat them twice. Just enjoy the one-loss season. But they did it, man. And it's a magic team. I think this is the year for them. I think it'll do wonders for their school, wonders for the recruiting. I love to see a team like that win. I have the exact same prediction. I think Bama destroys Michigan. Yeah. I think Michigan is not as good as anybody thinks they are. And then I think Washington upsets Alabama on like a last-second play. I think it's going to be an amazing game. I really do. I think Texas is really good, though. I don't think Texas is a fraud. I think Washington beating Texas will give them momentum to beat Alabama. Yeah, I think Alabama rolls Michigan.
Well, so we agree on that. So if Washington wins the national title, Nick and I are geniuses, and this is what we'll play at the beginning of our next podcast.
Completely agree. Absolutely agree. Completely agree.
All right. Well, let's move on. We're going to give out some gifts because certain entities, certain players, certain leagues, certain parts of sports need gifts. And that's what we're going to do in our final five. I don't know if this is a competition. This is more of a celebration. We're trying to make the world better by giving gifts to certain, I'm going to say entities. Like I said, it could be people, it could be a league, it could be a team. We're going to do five, and we've both had our issues with counting in this past year, so I'm going to do a little checklist here. Yeah, I
love it.
So I'm going to give you the floor. You go first. Who's your gift to? We're going to give five gifts to the world of sports. Let me go five here. Is this five here?
Five. That's five. Yes. I love this category. I think it's great. It's the season of giving, so we're going to be real Saint Nick's, and you could be my first elf. You could be my Rudolph. You could be my elf.
Can I be Hermie the dentist?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, you can. Gift number one. I'm going to give sleeves to Pat McAfee. All right. The fact that he goes through.
That's good.
The fact that he goes through these things, I love him and hate him. I think he's great for media. I think he goes a little too far sometimes, and he gives just the amount. The other day when he gave the Georgia chant and the song, and then switched to Alabama, I think is one of the top 5 media moments of 2023. It's fantastic. But I think he's got to rock some sleeves, man. He's got to put some more sleeves on. I just think that will maybe get him a few more viewers. So my first one is going to be very simple. Trip to Kohl's. Get that guy some sleeves.
Wow, that's really strong off the bat. I'm going to go back to college football because I'm still upset about it. Not like some of my FSU fans who kind of need to get over it at this point. Some of my FSU fans, they kind of moped about it a couple of days, and I don't blame them, but then they moved on. I'm going to give structure to the NCAA. Enough of the NCAA. Every pro sports league has a commissioner, okay? College football needs a commissioner, and he's not going to be a Roger Goodell dictatorship. There will be a system of checks and balances. The Senate and Congress will be the college football committee, but they have to have a commissioner who establishes an NIL rule across every state, where every state doesn't have a different NIL rule, which is why the transfer portal's gone crazy, NIL's gone crazy. We need structure in college football. I'm going to have a gift bag to college football. Get a commissioner, get somebody credible. We need leadership, not a dictatorship, but someone who's going to say, this is the policy we want. I'm going to work with the committee, and we're going to have a uniform, policy moving forward.
I think it may be possible that you've saved your best performance for the last performance of the year. You're on the ball today. Yeah, I'm a big fan today. Great work. Completely agree. I love that. It needs it. It's one of those things too that you say it, but you shouldn't have to. Like, how could we be the ones discussing this right now? How could it not be automatic? It's just nonsense. All right, my number 2. This is a gift to all sports fans like me. At the end of every game, all right, you sit all the officials and the referees and the umpires up on the podium, and they have to answer for their sins during that game. A quick press conference, a 5 to 10 minute press conference, asking the questions and say, hey, Mr. Hernandez, Angel Hernandez, you missed 3 really terrible ball strikes. Is it an eye issue, or are you feeling under the weather? Could you please explain how you were that far off? Or can you explain why you said the batter? You mentioned that Bryce Harper had went on a full swing there. It wasn't even close. Can you tell us what you were seeing from 115 feet away that we couldn't see? That's what I want. It would make me so happy. I would watch that more than the press conference for the athletes and the coaches. I think it's more important.
Wow. And maybe the NCAA commissioner could show up
Absolutely.
and rule on that. We'll bring it all together a little bit.
Absolutely. Sit down and answer for your sins.
Okay.
The opposite, by the way. Also, the opposite. You did a great job today. You made 98% of your ball strike calls. Congratulations. Right. Have a great weekend. Completely agree.
I'm going to stay with baseball. I got a couple on the list here, but I want to do the natural segue because that's what we do, Nick. We don't have these pre-show meetings. We just roll it out, man. We roll it out and have the great segues. I'm going to give baseball a salary cap. How about that? Because the Los Angeles Dodgers apparently are an all-star team, and they don't win the World Series every year. But, I love Shohei Ohtani. They just got Tyler Glass now from the Rays. Are they going to get George Brett out of retirement, have him play third base? Are they going to, bring in Andre Dawson, have him play center field? I mean, I don't know what's going on with baseball, and that's why I love the Rays. Even though I would never, if I was if one of my daughters or if I had a son that wanted a Rays jersey, I'd say, listen, let's just wait on that because the teams change every year. My daughter loves Randy Rosarina. Yeah, I'd love to buy her a Randy Rosarina jersey for Christmas, but I don't know if he's going to play for the Rays or the Padres next year. It's just,
exactly right.
You know what? They have to do that because it's not a salary cap.
Yep,
every sport. Hockey, NFL, NBA, they have a salary cap. Baseball, I know your union is strong, but wake the hell up. You need a salary cap. It is why the NFL and all these other leagues are doing better than you. Because every year in baseball, you kind of have an idea of the handful of teams that are going to be good because there is no salary cap. I grant baseball a salary cap in a big box.
I love it. I'm with you 100%, especially this recent stuff with Glasnow and it's just nonsense. I'm going to stick with baseball. This present is for baseball fans, all right? Hall of Fame voter. If you're one of the Hall of Fame voters, all right, and you give a blank slate, you don't give any votes when it's your turn to vote, you get the sheet, you don't do any check marks, you don't get to vote anymore. I think everyone should have to make 2 or 3 votes. Maybe you don't do the full 5 votes. Maybe you don't have to fill out the slots you really don't want to, but you got to pick. And the thing is, it'll work itself out in the wash. These people who give a blank state and then post it on Twitter and Instagram saying nobody deserves it. It's more for them. It's not their job. I think you should vote for at least 2. You have to give 2 or 3. And then if you don't, then you're not doing your job. I think that because everyone, if you're forced to do 2 or 3, you're still going to get some people that don't get to be in that 2 or 3. And even if you want to do a boycott, then do 2 or 3 that you least think should do it, just to be able to fill some out. I think it's bad for baseball when you have these people that are turning in blank slates. It's not what it's meant to be, so that really bothers me.
I love it. We're in full agreement, really, this whole podcast, which is rare for us. I've always had a problem with voters who also vote against guys who weren't good to the media, like Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens was a first ballot Hall of Famer. I frankly don't blame him for not going to the ceremony, not going, even though I wouldn't have done that. But I understand because the process, like the college football playoff, is extremely flawed. Don't get personal with Hall of Fame votes. Just do your job and friggin' vote, Hall of Famers.
Vote. That's it.
All right, I have this list. I'm on 3. We're on 3, right? We're keeping this structure.
You're giving your third one right now. Exactly.
Third right now. Okay. I'm going to, just make an executive decision with the Rays. You're going to build that ballpark, and I'm going to give you a big gift, and it's going to be a bunch of money. You're not going to build it in St. Pete. You're going to build the ballpark in Tampa. It's going to be a lot smaller than Tropicana Field as it is right now. You're going to have a great area around it. And you're going to be as popular as the Lightning because you're going to get more creative with ticket prices, and you're going to be awesome. St. Pete's not going to work. It's not going to work. It has to be in Tampa. Lakeland will come to Tampa. Orlando will come to Tampa. And you know what? St. Pete will see the party eventually, and they'll come to Tampa too. We're going to move Tropicana Field and the home of the Rays to Tampa. That is my gift to the Rays, along with the salary cap.
When that happens, I'll buy season tickets on day one. I completely agree with you.
Me too.
We've talked about it. I'm out for St. Pete. I like St. Pete to go to the beach once in a while, but I'm not going there for a 7:05 first pitch. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
Well done. Well done. All right, number 4, my last gift to fans. All right, and this is for anyone who likes soccer. All right.
But you have 2 more left, right? You have 2
I do.
left.
This one, another one. Yeah, but the last one's not for fans. This is the last gift for fans. Soccer players who stay down for a fake injury either have to go to the hospital or they have to miss the remainder of the half. So if you stay down for an injury, all right, you are hurt. You're holding your leg. You just got hit by a sniper in World War II. You are forced to get on that gurney, get on the ambulance, and go to the hospital, or you have to miss the remainder of the half that you're in. Done.
I love that. And you know what? A lot of people who are kind of on the fringe in terms of fans, that's one complaint they have with soccer. And if you fix that, I think it's like St. Pete. Eventually they'll jump to the Trop in Tampa. The soccer fans who are on the fringe will like the sport more.
And to be clear, I'm not talking about someone who fakes a foul and goes down. I'm talking about gets nudged in the elbow and they go down and do the barrel rolls and stay down and I'm done. I'm done with it. Hospital visit or sit on the bench for the half. That's it.
Wow. We're changing the world right now. This is progress, neighbors and neighbors right now.
I agree.
By the way, I'm not a huge soccer fan. Did you see the Beckham documentary on Netflix?
Loved it. It's fantastic. Yeah, very cool.
I didn't know much about him. It made me really like him more. And his wife, and both of them.
Yep, I agree.
Like everything that he went through, he just kind of sucked it up and took it and then channeled it and moved on. Kept
playing and doing a great job in Miami now as part of the ownership. I love it. Fantastic. Really good.
Yeah, it made me a bigger fan. Okay, number 4. I'm going to go NFL. There's nothing worse than a tie in sports. Speaking of soccer, and I didn't like it in hockey for years. I hate ties. I want a winner. It has to be a winner and a loser. That's why you need the college overtime to be transferred to the NFL. I want the NFL to take on the college football overtime when it goes, past regulation. We've had a lot of games this year where I'm thinking, are you serious? This is going to end in a tie. Yeah. We're flirting with disaster in the NFL. I like the progress that, if you don't score a touchdown, the other team gets the ball. That's progress, but we need a little bit more. So I'm going to give the NFL the college football overtime. I think it'll be more exciting. And you know what, NFL, you can talk about concussions and all that stuff, but you still play Thursday games. So I don't even hear it. You're hypocritical. Just do a better overtime. Come on, you can do it. Make it work.
I completely agree. I don't even think that it's fair the way it is now. Let's say you have 2 teams that have been blowing each other out. The final score is 47-47, and they go into overtime, and someone wins a coin flip, and they go down and shock. They score a touchdown, and it's over. I still think that's not fair. I think the college, it doesn't get any better, than the college overtime rules. I think it's perfect, and you just keep going for as long as you need to go. Other games do that. Other sports do it. So I'm with you. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. My final 5, number 5, right?
Yes.
This is a Draymond Green needs a gift. All right. He's had a tough week. He had a tough foul He acted emotionally, so he definitely needs a gift. So I'm going to give him a gift, and that is a ticket, a one-way ticket to anywhere else than professional basketball. It's an unlimited ticket. It's a ticket to Australia. It's a ticket to Europe. It's an unlimited miles ticket where he can go anywhere he wants as long as that ticket takes him somewhere other than the NBA. It's so insane. And I like how the media changed the result, or they changed the wording of it wasn't a punch. It was a full slap. It was a ridiculous thing to do. It was nonsense. I hated it. He's a fool. When he gets up after that and runs off and gives high fives, I think he's not only, he's obviously bad for basketball, but he's also bad for sport. Time for him to get out. I love the fact that they gave him an indefinite, because you can't say he's out for life because it's insane. But I love the indefinite. I very rarely applaud the NBA, but when they said that, I couldn't believe it, because I thought it was going to be 5 or 10 games. I thought it was going to be 10, then appealed to 5, and well done, NBA. But he needs to peace out.
You know what's amazing about the chemistry we have in this podcast is he was going to be my number 5, but I really didn't want to use him because I want to use something else that'll be more in the spirit of Christmas. But Draymond Green, to me, it's amazing. If I'm the Steve Kerr, or if I'm the GM or the owner of the Golden State Warriors, I do a team suspension. The NBA is going to do one. We're going to do one too. Doesn't that send a message with your organization that I'm not putting up with this anymore? I'm not.
It's ridiculous. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. I agree.
All right, so I had Draymond Green as 5, but I'm glad you took the lead. So I'm going to do my other 5, which I was probably going to do anyway. It's just amazing how we don't talk about this stuff and we don't overlap. We didn't overlap movies.
Yeah.
We're not overlapping the Final 5 at all. And we kind of agreed on college football for the most part. Here's what I'm going to do for you, Nick. You were a great athlete growing up. Hockey. Was hockey your favorite or baseball?
Probably hockey.
That's what I figured. Okay. I am going to give you in this gift the skill set of Steven Stamkos. Okay. And you're going to have it for the next, 6 months. And the likely is going to know about it. And they're going to let somebody go. And you just have at it, my friend. Have at it the next 6 months. All right. Just have at it.
And I love the pick. I love Stamkos. I think he's, if not the best, one of the absolute best captains in all of professional sports. The players all feel the same way. The ownership feels the way. And he's not done yet. He's my son's favorite player.
Was he?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's always Stammer. The other day when I got to wake him up and say that Stammer scored 4 last night, and then we watched all the highlights on the iPad. Man, that was awesome. He's the bomb, man. Kucherov might be the best player on the planet, but Stamkos is not done. I talked about this with my buddy the other day. I only hope that Stamkos sticks around for the whole time. I hope it's not one of those where his last 2 years he gets traded to Philadelphia or to Montreal or Toronto. I just hope he stays a Gold for life. I think we've been extremely lucky to have him. I think he's lucky to have Tampa. But yeah, I agree. He's awesome, and I appreciate the gift. I will use it wisely. I promise.
Wouldn't that be great?
Oh,
wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
You know what I love about Stamkos too is he had so much hard luck early in his career with injuries. Right when he was on the cusp of having this great season, he would get injured, multiple times. But then he bounced back. He won the cup and was a part of that. Yeah. And then now he's obviously kept himself in shape. And I agree. I think he has an appreciation. He sees around the league these great players moving around. Yeah. There's something to be said for stability from a superstar. It's rare in any sport, and I think he appreciates that a great deal. So, as we know, hockey players are the best to deal with. So, Nick, Steven Stamkos Nugent, have at it the next 6 months. That is my present to you.
I appreciate that. A present to him, though, giving him my body is not going to be as fun for him. But you know what? He's had a good run. Let's give him 6 months of hanging out on the couch and relaxing, doing some podcasts with you. It'll be good for everybody.
I didn't frame it like that, by the way.
I know.
You turned it on me a little bit. All right, our final segment sponsored by Buc-ee's. Last word. You want to go first? Yeah.
All right. You want me to go first?
Whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go first. Sure.
Okay.
All right. I go back and forth on this. I understand the point of it. I understand the use of it, but the way the transfer portal is now is completely broken. I really hate the idea as a college coach myself who has to spend time recruiting and bringing people in. I hate the idea that someone could have a really fantastic year on the platform that was given to them by the school and the coaches, and by the way, the rest of his teammates, and then use that to enter the transfer portal and go somewhere else. I hate that idea. I even don't like the idea of someone who produced at a mediocre level but feels they could do it somewhere else because a new coach comes on board. So I think the transfer portal should be amended, and it should only be two options. One is if you get recruited to go somewhere and you don't play. So let's say you get sold on a school to be a quarterback and you do not see one snap, then you can enter the transfer portal because you were not lied to, but you weren't being used as it was sold to you. And then the other is any kind of injury. If it's a major injury and you have an opportunity to recoup somewhere else and start over, I think that's an option too. But the whole idea with NIL deals and having the season of your life and then all of a sudden you're entering the transfer portal, I certainly understand why players skip bowl games to enter the draft. It's a business decision. I don't like it, but I understand it. But the transfer portal to do this kind of nonsense, to have a great year with great teammates and just leave, I think is ridiculous. I think it's bad for college football. I think it's bad for sport. And I really would like to see some kind of amending to what you can actually do to enter the transfer portal. That's all.
To bring it full circle, there was a time where I thought it was unfair for athletes because coaches could just pick up and leave and go where they wanted.
Yeah.
But you got to give the players some kind of rights, but now we've gone way, way, way the other side. And that's why college football needs a commissioner. And that's why college football, to me, needs to be reined in and not be like Major League Baseball. And they can't have a salary cap, but they need some kind of structure because right now it's like college football doesn't have a salary cap, even though they don't have it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's just you can do whatever the heck you want to do.
Whatever you want. Yeah, I agree.
All right. My final one is, you know what? I'm not a perfect human being, Nick. And I hate to admit it, but you're not perfect either. Our producer, Justin, he's not perfect. But in the month of December in 2023, I have found that perfect human being. He plays for the Dallas Cowboys. He is their kicker, Brandon Aubrey, former Notre Dame kicker. Didn't kick in college, by the way. Played soccer at Notre Dame, played in the MLS. His soccer career ended. Kind of thought, you know what? I'm going to give football a try. Again, didn't play in college. Didn't kick a football for many, many years. You know what he's doing right now? He's made his first 31 field goals in the NFL. He's 31 for 31. How does that happen?
It's amazing.
Crazy to me.
It is crazy.
Perfect. And his kicking coach says, you know what? I'm not going to mess with it. And I don't blame him. I'm not messing with that.
Yep.
31 for 31. He leads the NFL in points. I wish I, had some, foresight, I guess, to pick him on my fantasy team. But I don't know if that's ever going to happen again, Nick, especially from a guy who never kicked before. And then what's great about his story, he played high school football in Dallas.
Yeah.
You talk about a fantasy sports life. You follow your dream in soccer, and then you pivot to football again. Awesome. 31 for 31. The streak is still alive. The remarkable thing, though, he's missed a few extra points.
Yeah, that's okay, though. Whatever. No, it is extraordinary. I agree. I think it's an amazing story. I love it. I love those kind of tales. It's awesome.
All right. I don't know if it's a competition, but I'm going to bring Justin in because it is the season, and we have gratitude towards Justin Thomas, our producer.
Sure.
You can be the Scrooge, you can be the Grinch, but you can judge us. And you know what? I'm in the kind of spirit where if you don't pick me, I'll be happy for Nick because I have gratitude the holiday season.
Pick you in what regards? Who had the best movies?
The movies, you got. I don't know if you're taking notes. We kind of left you off the radar for a while because we brought in some guest judges, but just maybe you're, what do you think of the show?
Comments on the movies, on the gifts, whatever you need, man. The floor is yours.
I've been left off of more than just a podcast. Apparently, I didn't get the email that we're supposed to do Christmas sweaters and hats either.
Oh, I was just going to say, you did a great job picking your ugly sweater. I mean, that's
yeah.
Wow.
I'll take it. I just want to fit in.
I love it.
Well, first I want to say, Mike, I think the word you were looking for was kerfuffle with multiple Fs.
It was on the fly.
You were dangerously close to putting an F word into the word you said.
That's why I shouldn't do more than two syllables. It's not a good idea.
You were right to question yourself. You knew something was wrong. You just didn't know exactly what.
You know what? Matt Damon used that word, in a junket, the interview that we played months ago. I thought, man, that's a great word, but then I screwed it up. So my bad.
And then you screwed it up when you.
You know what? He's setting me up for a compliment here, Nick. Though I can feel it.
I agree.
Well, no, like when it came to the movies, I thought both of y'all's picks were good. I think this is one of those scenarios where you can't go wrong with a Christmas movie. It's usually going to put you in a very festive, happy mood. And outside of Nick's Fred Claus movie, which I have not seen, y'all's movies picks were great. In fact, y'all both had a pick that was on my top 3 list in no particular order. Home Alone, I love. It's a Wonderful Life. One that didn't make y'all's list, Jingle All the Way, is a classic for me. I love it. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's not the greatest actor, but in that movie, he is hilarious.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Just well done.
Never seen it.
It's on TV. I'm watching it for sure.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Him and Sinbad, you can't go wrong. So,
it's not a statement you usually hear in cinema when you get Arnold and Sinbad together.
It's a purely 90s era movie, but in terms of gifts, I loved y'all's gifts. There were 2 I thought for sure one of these would have been on your list. If I could give one gift out, for me it would be getting rid of the fumbling the football out of the end zone, becoming a touchback.
I hate that.
I don't. I'm surprised that they haven't voted on this to change it. I read recently that this could be up this year. I don't know if it'll be changed. I'm surprised.
That's the equivalent to, you know what? I didn't eat all my vegetables, so you're grounded for 3 months.
Yeah.
The penalty is too strict for what you did. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, if anything, maybe move them back so they have to go further to get in the end zone. But the whole fact that, no, it goes to the other team, you lose, even though you were right there, is ridiculous.
Yeah, nonsense. I agree.
The other gift I would like to give to probably thousands, millions of fans, but definitely for myself, is no more Cowboys primetime games. I'm so over the Cowboys. They get, 8 primetime games a year, and I feel like all they do is just botch it somehow. I agree. Cowboys. They're overrated. Until they win the big game, I do not care about the Cowboys. They should not have as many primetime games.
That is fantastic. And the key word is until they win. They haven't won in forever. Stop promoting them. I agree.
They're the ultimate this. Nope.
Yeah.
I was starting to believe in them. Okay, I think they're going to beat the Bills. The Bills, it's not their year. And they're so Cowboys. They're so Cowboys still.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I like it.
That's all I got for y'all. I don't know if there's anything else. Kerfuffle. Okay. Don't forget it, Mike.
Yeah, that's got to be the title of the It's got to be the title of the podcast. Neighbors and Nugent, December 18th, Kerfuffle. It's got to be.
You know what I love though is I mispronounced it, and then Nick just kind of followed the lead and mispronounced it too.
Yeah,
I thought Nick was kind of ragging on you a little bit, like he purposely mispronounced it.
But to the knockout punch, he could have done what you did and said it right. But Nick,
but you know what, Justin, I take that back. Sure. I would never do something like that to Nick.
Oh no,
especially during this time of year. I would never ever do that to anybody. I agree completely, for sure. I was a mistake on my part.
Well, Justin, we love you, man. Happy early New Year. Merry Christmas, and appreciate all you do. I love your sweater, by the way.
Thanks, guys. I'll try.
Well, Nick, we're almost on the holidays here. We have bowl games. We have the playoff, but it's been a great run this past year. I'm looking forward to more great guests in the new year. We're only going to get better on this podcast. I can feel it.
I agree. Big year coming up. Let's check in after the first round of bowl games to see if it's going to be the final. Bama versus Washington. We'll do a national championships heads up. It'll be a fun one.
And if we're wrong, we'll have a redo and we can have another pick.
We
won't be wrong. We'll be right.
No, I'm not gonna.
Well, I feel like I was caught in a kerfuffle the whole podcast, but I just wanted to say the word again because I love it. But hey, Merry Christmas, my friend. All the best to you and your family, and all the best to our audience. We appreciate those who have subscribed, and please spread the word. More great things from Neighbors and Nugent coming up down the road and in 2024. Merry Christmas.
You too, man. Have a great holidays. Take care.